What up, peeps? It's your girl, Dosh. Come back to Funeral Takes. Well, as I tell me, yes, it's movie news time. And this one has quite a few things I want to discuss, a couple of things I'm wishing that I didn't have to discuss, but you already know how I am. So, with that said, let's go ahead and just jump into it. Now, the first thing I want to kind of jump into is the movie updates. There's a couple of things with some movies I've been waiting to get a little bit more information on. Some of them I'm very excited about. So, with that, the first one I want to discuss has to do with The Flash. Now, of course, starring Ezra Miller, directed by Andy Muschietti. And I know I talked about it a little bit last year, I want to say late summer and all, and then also fall. We already know that since I want to say this is kind of like in regards to DC, we're kind of getting a little bit of a multiverse component with this one. So I'm actually excited. Of course, when I knew that we already knew Ben Affleck was probably going to be definitely attached to this, but knowing, like I stated before, that Michael Keaton will be coming back as Batman, that made me very, very excited. Now, the new thing I'm excited about is hearing that we will have a Supergirl. And I'm excited because it'll be starring in that particular role, Sasha Calle. Now, I'm used to her because she used to be on a soap I used to watch, which is Young and Restless. Yes, I do love my soap. So, needless to say, I'm excited, happy for her. Now, we know, what is it? Melissa Benoist is coming to a close on playing the particular character, Supergirl, from the CW. So I'm kind of glad with this because I know with DCEU, I'm excited at the prospect of them doing a standalone film for this particular character. Now, the standalone that I remember growing up watching was the one from 1984 with Helen Slater. I love that one. I still have a soft spot for that one. I thought she did an awesome job in that. Secondly, I'm just really looking forward to seeing how Sasha's going to bring this baby to life in the film and how we're going to be told her story. I'm curious to know what they're going to call her. If her name's going to be, Kara, Jarrell, or is it going to be Kara Danvers? Curious about that, or she's going to have a totally different name as well. So definitely a couple of things there I'm really looking forward to seeing. I will say that I was really excited when something on social media from Muschietti he posted in regards to how he went about telling Sasha that she got the role. I like how he was playing with her a little bit in regards to it. Just kind of, he made a comment, I think, where he was just like, are you able to travel? Or she's like, I'm able to travel. I can travel to you. Unbeknownst to her, because he's just saying these things kind of like, beating around the bush. And then he finally came and saying, letting her know she secured, the job with Supergirl, and he put up, I think, part of it, which I'll probably post up here as I'm stating that. But it was just such a sweet, you can tell she was so emotional. And I think I remember at the beginning, somewhere at the end, she kind of turned and told someone, that she got the job. So definitely kudos to her. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to seeing if by any chance we'll see any other people who might be added to the cast. I figure most likely, I wish I knew the date, but I know, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like this is supposed to come out 2022, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong by the date. Correct me if you need to in the comments. It's not a big deal, for that aspect, but I'm just glad we're finally getting a little bit more information as time goes on, because this one right here, a lot of people at first wasn't sure how they felt. I like the personality and the way the character is played by Ezra, in the movie. And his personality, actually, in person, I've watched some of his interviews from other previous movies he's been in that I actually enjoy. So he definitely brings a little extra, excitement and whatever, and just like a little comedic, just definitely cool, laid back type of feel. So I'm excited that, we're finally going to see him do this role, and I'm hoping it does very, very well. And I'm glad to see Muschietti doing something else, because I'm used to him, of course, so far with the horror genre, because he did it and it too. So when I said I was excited he was going to, branch out and do something different, that really kind of set it with me where, okay, I love that he's doing other things. I'm already a fan of his work, so I'm going to continue watching whatever he puts out. So this is good. Again, happy for her. We'll keep tabs if anything else comes up in regards to this particular film. So with that said, let's move on. The next one I'm definitely just want to talk about because I'm just so hyped to see it, and this has to do with Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible, of course, number 7. Now, I know that director Christopher McQuarrie had put out what looks like to be a picture, a couple of set photos, but one in particular I want to talk about first is the one of Tom Cruise kind of going through like a layer of some smoke, kind of thick smoke, whatever. It looks like he's charging, doing his, he's called infamous run. Everybody loves to just kind of go into that. And I'm just like, I'm here for it, because let me tell you, watching the film Mission Impossible Fallout, that thing was a thing of beauty. I remember when the trailer came out, I was here for it because I've been watching them since the beginning. I think the first one, what was it, 1996, and then the last one was 2018, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2018. I'm trying to get my dates. And when I did my, best, films of 2018, top 10, that was number 1. I mean, from beginning to end, nothing was wrong with it. The amount of action drama, a little bit, of course, comedic timing, with Simon Pegg. I was here for it. I was here for it. And like I said, I'm biased a little bit because I am a fan of Tom, but Tom is a perfectionist and he puts forth, as much as he can give. I mean, the brother got hurt and injured on set and still powered through. So I'm really here for this. I'm going to go ahead and post a couple some photo sets of showing some of the other cast. I'm just excited to see this film. I know they're still wrapping it. I think they're getting close to finishing up the overall production on 7 in London. And I'm wondering how much longer we'll have to wait to see when they're going to start actually moving right into 8, because I know they're doing them back to back. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see if that's the case. Now, I know a while back he had a little issue with somebody on the set where they weren't taking, the situation in regards to pandemic, a little bit more seriously. And let's just say the audio leaked or whatever. And he, like I said, a perfectionist, he's about this because let's just be real. If anything had popped off on this set, they're not going to blame the people like the director, the film company, whatever. They're going to say, oh, Tom Cruise on the set of Tom Cruise film. Blah, 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 blah. So it all falls on him. And that's the pressure that lies. And he's, very cool down there from a lot of people say, I don't really hear anything through interviews of people saying he's not hard to work with her. So you can see he truly was not feeling it. You're endangering yourself and others. So he was just like, you get it together. You won't be on the set. And let's just say that a lot of people from watching in the film industry talking about a lot of people behind the scenes are happy to be back on set working and slowly. And now that we're dealing with certain things and changes happening where now vaccines are being, put forth, for people to take whatever and all, and get kind of a little bit of normalcy in the film industry where people can still do it, but of course still masked up, So I just said, I'm like him, you mess with your green if you want, but you're not going to mess with everybody else. It's like, if you're going to continue acting like that, then you got to go. So I'm just here for it. Now, in regards to the cast, we already know who's coming back. Of course, Ving Rhames, Simon Pegg, Rebecca Ferguson. And then also I'm going to add some other names up here, probably some faces. Nicholas Hoult, Haley Atwell. I want to say Palm Clementif. I hope I'm saying the last name correctly. And Isaiah Morales. I'm just so happy. I was really hyped when I heard he was going to be in it. Ever since I saw his face recently when he did the show Ozark, I was so here for it because I love him playing a baddie. So when I heard he was one of the last ones that came on as well as Nicholas Hoult, I was like, okay, see, I'm already going to watch the movie, but that even made it even better because I've been following his work for years. So yes, I'm here for it. I'm ready. So let me give you the dates. Mission Impossible 7, November 19th, 2021. That is this year. Yes, right before Thanksgiving. Yes. Give thanks. And then Impossible number 8. That's November 4th, 2022. So that's why I make the comment of, okay, that comes out. So I'm assuming maybe by the summer they'll start production, or late summer, fall, with the production of the 8th installment. So I'm just ready to see the film. I'm really trying to debate, hopefully by then I'll be able to go to the theaters because I really might want this to be the first movie I go back to the theaters to see. There's so many things coming out, but they're all now on certain, streaming services or whatever, so I can just deal with it. I know some people are really trying to decide what films they want to see in the theater, and like, as they say, risk it. But I hate to say it in those terms, but I'm really praying by November things are good, that they will show this in the theater, because if, I definitely would, do what I need to do to protect myself, but I really want to go. So I'm just putting that out there, Matter of fact, any of you guys who watch this, let me know if there's certain films that are coming out towards the end of the year you think one might be the one that might consider pushing you to see the film in the theater. I'm just curious how many of you all feel that way. So moving on from that. Now, this is one we're getting into now, me talking about some sequels and prequel here. Let me start with the sequel, because this one I'm actually excited for. This has to do with FaceOff. Now, I'm excited for this one because, first off, of course, the actual director, Adam Wingard, I hope I'm saying his name correctly. I'm already ready for him because he directed Godzilla vs. Kong. That comes out March 31st on HBO Max. So if you all didn't know the date, just get yourselves ready. March is tomorrow. I'm ready for that film, and the fact that he's a part of this one, I'm excited. Now, he's done a couple films I like. He did the movie You're Next, The Guest, and the first VHS movie, So right there, I like some of his work. So I'm excited that he is going to be attached to this. Now, I know when he posted this on social media, a lot of people were in their feelings because they really thought he was going to go back and, do a reboot. But he was like, oh, no, I'm not doing it. I'm doing a sequel. So that put that to rest. And I was like, okay, good, because the first one is epic. I mean, John Travolta, Nicolas Cage. Of course, John Travolta playing the agent. Of course, he's coming for Cage's psycho character, Troy, when he kills his son. And there's, of course, the agent played by Travolta has to, infiltrate the prison. You remember, you guys, where he had to find out where this bomb was, and unbeknownst to him, Cage's character wakes up, takes on his face. Then all of a sudden, just all hell breaks loose because, of course, once he finally comes, into contact with him, he's like, I'm going, I want you to see the face, that you have was the face that you just hate the most, whatever. And now I'm going to, go home and be with your wife. And it's just, he was just, oh my God. I love both of them. And Nicolas Cage, when he plays that psycho crazy, he can play it very, very well. That movie, the action, just everything down, suspense, drama, it was just perfect. And it was 97 and directed by John Woo, so it was one of my favorite directors right there. So the fact that they're doing a sequel so long later, I'm surprised, but it had to be, because I kept thinking if they're going to bring them back, I'm like, okay. So that makes perfect sense. Okay, now the moment of truth is what I really want to get into. The thought of who can play. You all can put in the comment sections how you feel as well. This is the two people I think. I'm going to put it up. I would like it to be Frank Grillo and John Bernthal. I love both of those actors. I've been following Frank Grillo since his soap days. But John, I mean, he's done many films. Definitely love him as the Punisher. And then he's done a couple other films. And I loved him when he was on Walking Dead, and also when he did this movie called Shaw Caller. So I'm just here for him. Period. I would love if one of them would be in it, but both of them would just make it bitter, just so sweet, so sweet, just saying. I almost hope somebody sees this and just kind of lets, Adam know, please. That would be so great. Because I can see the overall high aesthetic. It's to me, it's believable. So I don't know how you all feel, but that's really how I feel. I can't think of anybody else, whatever. There's some other acting people out, but I'm like, nah, this would be a good one because everybody loves FaceOff. A lot of people, well, the masses, because it was hyped and it did very well at the box office back then, and it's still considered a good movie. So yeah, that's just my take on that. So I will keep tabs on this one to see who they're cast, and I'm really hoping I like both actors. It'd be nice if it actually is one of them. So maybe definitely I feel like Frank Grillo, because Frank Grillo has been busy. I did a couple of reactions to some movies he's coming out with, that I'm really feeling. So the brother's he's just getting work all the time. John, he definitely is doing stuff, whatever, but I have to keep track of his a little bit more so than anything else. So again, when I know more about that, I will let you all know. So this one, in regards to this being a prequel, I wasn't sure how to take this, because I will say the movie that came out, this has to do with Pet Semetary. Now, that's the discussion they're having now, where they're considering a prequel. Now, the movie that came out, the original I love, okay, which came out, what was it, 89. I loved that one. The second one, which is the Pet Sematary, I'd never cared for that. When they finally decided after all these years to do, kind of like a reimaging, reboot, whatever, and all that, back in this came out in 2019, they kind of gave away a little bit of the plot twist, and they kind of changed up with it and all that. And I was just like, yeah, it is what it is, but it did nothing for me. So it was almost like it was not really needed, because let's just be real. A lot of people really weren't talking about it in the buzz, because a lot of people, I think, still to this day love the first one, even though they didn't show so much of the aspect of what's in the novel. In this, is only so much you can do with the film, but it was done and it was considered a classic. And to this day, it still creeps me the hell out. So the 2019 one, they could have kept, sorry. One of the writers, Jeff Buller, is actually a part of the one that was done in 2019. And now that they're considering this prequel, he's coming back as one of the writers. And I'm just like, I don't know. Now, I will say this. From what I'm hearing, they can go any way in regards to the storyline. But the fact is that this has to do, of course, with the ancient burial ground that's behind the family and their home. That's going to be kind of one of the main staples. And let me read what they noted from Stephen King's novel, because it kind of brings that into attention of possibly being something that's considered in the storyline. It states, in King's book, the burial ground is said to belong to the Mi'kmaq, and it's the people, but the burial ground said to that for the Mi'kmaq people. It says, in regards to, let's say, kind of being about, the reboot develops into the indigenous, issue, which can be kind of considered controversial, and I can kind of see that. So you don't want to go too far out of, the creating aspect of it that might become offensive. So I'm not sure, like I said, they can go any type of way with it, but I feel like they're going to use the burial ground situation as a catalyst for that. Like, because when you look at it from the one they did in 2019, you see all those different headstones or whatever from that burial ground. It's only so ways they could go with that to kind of bring up a little bit more information about how this came to be. So that's going to be very interesting. Also, I'm curious to know, since he is coming back as the writer, who's going to direct it and who's going to star in it. So that's going to be interesting. And I'm hoping they delve really, really good, because I really want to know, of course, if whoever they choose to bring it, because remember, he did not do a novel pertaining to what happened in this house prior to this family from the book he has with Pet Semetary. So, you know, I don't know. That's going to be very interesting. That's kind of where I say they can go anywhere creatively, whichever. So I'll keep tabs on this one. I'm not gung ho about this, but that's a possibility. I'm just glad they're not making another one to get rid of the one they did in 2019, because it's too soon. So a prequel sounds a little bit more, believable in regards to them wanting to continue with this, and hopefully that will be a little bit better than that last one, because no, I wasn't here for it. So moving on from that, now we're getting into reboot territory, and I'm gonna tell you, some of them I'm going to discuss. I'm truly really not here for it. One in particular, but you'll know about my face, whichever. The first one I want to discuss, since we're talking about Stephen King, this one has to do with The Running Man. Now, I will say this. I remember the one that came out in 87. I really enjoyed it. Of course, starred Arnold Schwarzenegger, one of my faves. And it was really good, just dealing with this one. Okay, they're claiming in regards to this particular film, the director who's going to be on board is Edgar Wright. Now, that right there has me definitely intrigued with the film. I am a fan of some of his work. He did Baby Driver. He did Shaun of the Dead. And he has another movie coming out I'm really looking forward to coming, is Last Night in Soho. So I was already on board when I heard it. So I'm not going to, took this one, because this has been years. I have to always kind of catch myself, because I tote the hypocrisy a little bit. But the thing with the first one that came out, which, kind of not as similar to the novel, was the way they did the storyline. Now, this one from the novel, they're stating, excuse me, Edgar Wright wants to stay, he wants to stay faithful to the source material. So that right there is a good thing, because if you recall, in this one, people volunteer to be a contestant, on this, game show, whichever and all that, where they get paid money for every time they're able to stay alive every hour. Now, and the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's the one where these people are considered, what's the word I want to use? More so regarded as criminals. And then they're basically, pushed into the show, and this is used as a punishment and also entertainment. If you all remember him seeing, all the stuff, whatever and all, and that game show host, oh my God, he was just this, I couldn't wait for him to get his at the end, and it was so bittersweet. So I'm curious, a lot of people are like, I don't know how they feel about it, whatever, because even though it, like I said, was not about the novel, but everybody liked it because hence, of course, Schwarzenegger was attached to it and all that. He brought the action, whichever. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Edgar tells the story overall, if he definitely keeps it more to the source material. I'm also looking forward to seeing who will be cast in this one. I'm definitely excited to see how that's going to turn out. So yeah, I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to, I will say before this one, I'm looking forward to Last Night in Soho. So just bring that on first before I get all hyped and excited for that one, because that's one I've been waiting for. And all the little set photos they show with him working with Anya Taylor-Joy just has me really ready. So, but I'm definitely ready to see what he's going to do. I'm curious to see when they're going to start production with this. This is just up in beginning stages. So hopefully maybe sometime late summer, fall, we'll get a little bit more information as who else is coming on board to do the actual roles within the film. So moving from that. Now this one, I'm going to tell you like this, I'm really not here for this one, honestly. I'm not even going to lie. And I know the people who are attached, it's all good, but still not here. And this has to do with the reboot of Train to Busan. Now, the original director, Sung Ho Yeon, hope I'm saying his name correctly, my apologies. This thing was an international hit, okay? I love that film. It came out in 2016. It was so good. I recently watched it like about a month ago, and it still gives me all types of feels. That ending always just has me in a puddle. Just, I'm a mess. So I'm just not understanding so soon to make one. And then hearing that this was in the works for a couple of years, I'm like, really? Really? I'm like, I can see a couple of years, because the thing just came out in 2016, so I'm not really understanding why. So the people who are going to attach, the director, let me get his name right, Timo Choniato, and it also is going to be produced by James Wan. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm familiar with a little bit of work from Timo. He actually did VHS 2. And he also did the movie through Netflix called what is it? The Night. I always say the name incorrectly. The Night Comes for Us. Of course, with Joe Taslim. Okay, really there. I'm excited for that, because that's a good director. I love the work he's put up before, and he also did I just don't know how to say. That's why I'm kind of stumped, with this. And don't get me wrong, because even James Wan being attached, I'm like, yes, I love all his work. And then hearing that another actual person who will be a part of this producing with this one is Gary Doberman. Now, he's definitely worked with him with, the Conjuring, series, and also branching off doing work for the parts of Annabelle and also The Nun. And then he definitely helped to write the films for Stephen King's, books It and It Too, that, of course, Machete directed. So I'm just not sure, even though all that's good, I'm like, why? That thing is straight perfect. It doesn't need it. If anything, not this soon. I mean, if it was like 10 years from now, okay, it is what it is, but so soon. I'm like, not even 5 years out. And then we just had Train to Busan Peninsula that just came out last year. So I'm just like, okay, and we hold the brakes, but it's like, it's happening. It's happened. They've been thinking about this for a while. I'm just like, they probably wanted to do it close to when it first came out in 2016. But then, of course, with James Wan being busy, probably not figuring out they wanted a director on it. He probably didn't want to direct because he was already, locked in with contracts for other movies. That's probably why I didn't, because who's to say he might have considered doing it. So I don't know what to think about this. I'm really curious to see what you all think. Definitely comment below, because that's one I'm just like, why? Just like, why? So I just wanted to bring that up. Once we get more information of when it's going to start, possibly, production, who's going to be attached in regards to casting, I will, keep you guys abreast. So as I always say, when I know more, you'll know more. So another one, I'm definitely not here for. Really, honestly, I'm happy for the writer involved, but it's not in regards to Superman reboot. Now, this one, I had to do a side eye because I ran it on for like a year, maybe a year and a half, ever since we did Batman vs Superman, and then of course Justice League. I was here because I'm hyped for Henry Cavill to do Man of Steel 2. So you remember Man of Steel came out 2013. I was there at the theater. I loved it as soon as it was on DVD. I bought that thing. I watched it a couple of times, whatever, and all that. He was perfect because the Superman I've always loved and enjoyed growing up was, of course, the Superman that was played by Christopher Reeve. So when they finally found somebody who I felt fitted, he was perfect for it. So it was just like, okay, it was just a matter of time. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Because I felt like he had one more locked in film to do, which was another Man of Steel, his standalone, and nothing transpired. So hearing this news, it's just like, really? So we're kind of already starting from scratch. So I look forward to somebody speaking to him and asking what his thoughts are, because I feel like it's coming. Now, the writer, who is, of course, attached to us, let me get his name out. It is Nahasi Coates. I would like to say people's names correctly. He is attached to this. Now, I will say this, also attached is, of course, J.J. Abrams. Nothing wrong with that. I love both their works, because one thing with Coates, he's actually written on Captain America and Black Panther. So, of course, he was in Marvel there, but on this aspect, he will be a part of DCEU. So, hey, he's not discriminating when it comes to the comics. I'm just really curious now what's going to be the tone. Now, I know, but like I said, he's worked on the Marvel. Like I said, Black Panther. He worked with Ryan Coogler. He also just recently worked on a film with Ryan Coogler that's starring Michael B. Jordan. So what does that mean? Now, I know a while back I talked about this really briefly, how I think Michael B. Jordan had pitched about doing a Black Man of Steel. That's interesting. I have nothing in stone saying anything that's going to transpire with that. It's just something I'm kind of bringing up now, because I will say, I think they want to go back to the days of Superman back in the earlier films where he was considered, a man of hope. The one we got in 2013 with Henry Cavill, you get more of a darker tone, obviously, especially with the stuff that's happening within the film. And of course, General Zod played by, Michael Strahan. I'm just curious a little bit more. Also, even though he's going to be a writer on this one, I'm really going to be interested in seeing who are they going to pick to play the character. That's going to be this. Now, see, if they said they were going to do a Man of Steel, whatever, and they brought him as a writer, that would have been great. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. So now it's like you're starting from scratch. Who's going to be cast? So all the main characters, like, Lois Lane's going to be in this. Who's going to be the big bad? So many things. And also, since we're in the beginning stages, okay, when do we expect this? When are we expecting cast, whatever? When is it going to be a possible release date? So many questions that need to be answered. But I'm happy for Coates. Like I said, I loved Captain America. A lot of people like to always talk about the other movies like Winter Soldier, whatever. I love the way it started with the origin story for Captain America. So I know his writing style is good, and definitely with Black Panther too. So it's just a matter of, like I said, who's going to star in it, who's directing it, and who, when is it coming out? Because all we know is he's the writer, and we know who's the producer on the film. So yeah, I'm definitely going to keep my eyes open on this one, because yeah, I really want to know. I'm going to be just straight side eye all the way up until I see. And then if it's something, the potential of who's coming on board, then I'll, set the side eye aside and then we'll move on from that. Now we're going into films in the works. And these are a couple of things I'm really excited about. Definitely a couple of things on here I'm really looking forward to, really hyped about. Now, the first one has to do with a film that's called The School for Good and Evil. And it's going to be starring Kerry Washington and Charlize Theron. I am a fan of both ladies. Definitely Kerry Washington from, of course, TV fame. She has movies, but TV, of course, Scandal. And then, of course, Charlize Theron. What can I say about her? She's been doing movies for years. I love her work. She, of course, did recently with Netflix, movie The Old Guard. And I really did enjoy that. Of course, this one being through Netflix as well, directed by Paul Feig. I'm a fan of some of his work. He did the movie Spy, of course, the 2016 Ghostbusters, and then one of my faves, Bridesmaids. So right there, I'm really hyped about him and him being attached to this. Now, let me kind of get a little bit into the synopsis for you guys. Of course, it's a film adaptation of the fantasy novel by Soman Chainanis. And it says it's about a magical school where children are trained to become fairy tale heroes or villains. So it shows also, in regards to this, let's kind of get into this one. It says Theron is set to play Lady Lessel, the Dean of Evil. And it says Kerry Washington will play Professor Dovey, the Dean of Good. And it says also Lady Lessel is her best friend. Right there. So that you can imagine the dynamic. Let me get into another part of the cast. It says Sophia Wiley and Sophia Ann Caruso, who have been cast as the best friends Agatha and Sophie. It says respectively, while Sophie believes she will be chosen for the School of Good, and Agatha seems to be perfect fit for the train as villain at the School of Evil. And it says the two girls are surprised to find themselves at the opposite academies. I'm going to really like that. And I love anything that's fantasy anyway. So that sounds like it's going to be really good. And like I'll tell you, a lot of stuff that Netflix is putting out, just knocking it out the park. I mean, it's so much competition online for streaming services, but Netflix is holding their own and they just keep, giving us some good stuff. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward because I don't think I've seen anything where Kerry Washington and Charlize Theron have been in it. So I'm actually hyped and excited about that. Secondly, Charlize Theron plays good evil. When she did Snow White and the Huntsman, I was here for it. Matter of fact, I watched it almost like a month and a half, 2 months ago, and I really enjoyed her. And then we were her and Chris Hemsworth in that. That was really good. She really can play anything. But after seeing her in so many movies where she's not in her playing that evil, we know she has it in her. I'm here for that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. I don't have, of course, anything specified in a date. So I'm assuming this is something that's going to probably start production sometime this year. So maybe late this year or early next year, we'll probably see something in regards to this. So that part I am hyped about. So I will keep tabs if we do get an update on when we expect this as a release date on Netflix. So with that said, when I know more, you'll know more. This one, I'm excited, long overdue. This has to do with District 10. A friend of mine online has sent me, quick little message talking about this, and I was here for it because I loved District 9 when it came out back in, was it 2009? And of course by director Neil Blomkamp. Definitely a great director. I love me a good sci-fi film, and that was something totally different I'd never seen. Totally enjoyed it. Oh, the ending's always so sad. What happens, when he leaves the flower? I'm just like, oh, let me focus. But needless to say, when it first came out, I was wondering if like a year or two ago by we were going to get a new film, but nothing happened. And of course, over time, he did the movie Elysium with Matt Damon, and he did the movie Chappie. And then after that, we didn't see anything. He was also being considered for a movie I talked about a couple of years back, was supposed to be for the reboot of RoboCop. But then we got that one that was in 2014. I'm sorry, it was some trash. My apologies, Joel Kinnaman. But no, I was not here for that one. So I was more hyped for Neil to do it. But when it fell through, I was kind of bummed. So after Chappie, I haven't seen him anything as of late. So I want to say with 2015, 2016, nothing on the plate, anything for him. So this has me intrigued because as he put it on his social media, he says it's coming. So I'm happy to hear that. I think a lot of people like the film. We're kind of glad. I look forward to seeing the dynamic and the changes of how they're going to do the storyline because we're, 10 years in and how he's going to push it in regards to the amount of time in between the first one. Whichever, will anybody from the original cast come back? That'll be interesting. But I'm excited for this one. I'm definitely excited to see this one. So keep tabs on this one. I know more. You all know more. I just want to kind of talk about that one briefly. Now, this one, I'm excited because of two coming together, and this is going to be something that's going to be through A24, and this has to do with a new director for the last couple of years who have been on my radar. This has to do with Ari Aster and Joaquin Phoenix coming together to do a movie called Disappointment Boulevard. Now, when I got introduced to Ari Aster, I saw him saw the movie he did, which was Hereditary back in 2018. When I went to that theater, I was literally mesmerized, mind blown. I would tell you, a lot of us were just like, "What in the hell?" But I was here for it. The casting, um, Toni Collette, I'm a fan of her ever since Mira's Wedding. So when she was in this, she was phenomenal. And then of course Gabriel Byrne. It was a couple other actors, but Toni Collette, out of everybody, she was truly a scene stealer, just to me, straight out. Then a year later, he did Midsummer with I want to say Florence Pugh, and that one literally mind blown. There was somebody, I think it was one or two people that walked out in the theater because they were just like, "What is this? What am I watching?" But I was here for it. A lot of people, they like certain things that are a little bit more understanding and simple, whatever else. Some people don't really want to dig into the mindset of trying to figure out what the hell, but I'm here for it. I love all types of films. So it was right there. And I became, from Hereditary, an instant fan. So anything he puts out, I'm here for. So to know that he is now going to be working with Joaquin Phoenix, coming off of his, winning performance in Joker. This is his follow-up film that he'll be doing because he hasn't done anything since then. He did, of course, a whole circuit of, a year or so ago of the award circuit winning for the Joker, whatever. And I think with some personal things that have happened to him, in his life, whatever, he's just been chilling. So now that he's signed on to do this, I am happy. Now the thing with this one, let me see. We don't have any real plot. They didn't give anything right now, and I think it's kind of how that's how it is sometimes with dark. But they did say this. They said it's being called an intimate, decade-spanning portrait of one of the most successful entrepreneurs of all time. So that, has me a little intrigued, but I'm still intrigued. I'm still going to watch it. It doesn't bother. And then I like the title, Disappointment Boulevard. Is so many, broadness in that whole title right there. So it can go any type of way, but I know it's going to go a certain way where I'm going to have to put my thinking cap on in regards to this. Cause yeah, he's going to have me scratching my head, shaking my head, eyes literally popping open like as if they're not big already. So I'm here. I'm excited. Clearly, Joaquin, definitely see something in his work. I've been a fan of Joaquin going back to, what was the first movie I saw of him? I think he did I Loved Him to Die For. I love Inventing the Abbots. Of course, Walk the Line. Her. He did Gladiator. And then, of course, Joker. What else can you say? Whatever. He's done so many films, whichever. So he's very particular about the films he picks, similar to like other individuals, like say for instance Leonardo DiCaprio. I always get tongue tied with that. So yes, I always appreciate some of the things that they pick, whatever. Because not to say he'll get pigeonholed because he's done so many different things, whatever. But I can only imagine, but I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to know a little bit more, definitely about the synopsis and also who else will be cast alongside Joaquin. So yeah, I'm really here for it. I'm really excited. Bring it. Let's do this. So the next one I'm excited for, and I'm going to tell you, I really am excited for this one. This is going to be something through Netflix, like a Netflix crime thriller film starring Tom Hardy, and it's going to be directed by Gareth Evans. Now, if you're already familiar with Gareth Evans, you already know he has to do with the Raid 2. That right there should tell you all you need to know. That right there has me hyped. Another film through Netflix. I mean, again, they stay, cranking out some good stuff, and they keep bringing people on. The people through Netflix, they definitely know who to pick for directing, and definitely whatever they're considering for directors and certain, movies or storylines. And then they seem to bring in these actors who are just like, they just like, oh yeah, I like that. I'll sign on this one. So Tom Hardy being, the exception for this one. Like I said, it's called Havoc. Let me kind of read a little bit of the synopsis. It says the film sees Hardy playing a detective who must fight his way through the criminal underworld to rescue the son of a politician. It says while contending with the corruption and conspiracy gripping the city, the film is set to actually shoot in Wales. Now, definitely a fan of Hardy. He puts on some amazing work. The Dark Knight Rises. Then you have, what is it? Oh my gosh, Venom. He has the next one, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. The TV series, Peaky Blinders. I love Taboo. I mean, I really, really could go on. He was in The Revenant, I couldn't say The Revenant, but yes, he is he's another one similar to Joaquin Phoenix and also DiCaprio, where he's very meticulous about what he chooses for roles. So I love it. I love it. I'm here for it with Gareth. Besides those two, he also did a movie that came out that I like. Was it one? I don't know if it was, I want to say it was on Netflix as well. It was Apostle, which starred Dan Stevens. I actually enjoyed that. That thing was, it was brutal, just some lot of stuff going on in that film, whatever and all that. More in a horror aspect, whatever and all, dealing with some sort of type of cult, but it was really, really, really good. If you've never seen it, check that out. But yes, I'm here because I feel like besides the underworld world, we're gonna get some good, maybe some epic, action and fight scenes within this film. Because if I'm stating, of course, him being attached to the Raid and the Raid 2, I just feel like we're gonna get epicness, and then them two coming together. Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Again, it's gonna be a Netflix crime, drama, thriller called Havoc, and that title alone, yes, that truly has me intrigued. So definitely looking forward to more information. Who else will be cast? When it's actually coming out? I'm hoping he's actually working on it right now. He's been finished, Venom Let There Be Carnage. I don't know if there's anything else he's working on at the moment, so let's hope they get ready to start production sometime either spring or summer, because if this can come out later this year, and hopefully early next year. So fingers crossed on that. Now this one just dropped, and I'm excited about this one. This has to do with, excuse me, Winston Duke. He's going to be playing the character Marcus Garvey. I'm actually happy for him. I feel, just thinking overall, him and the aesthetics of Marcus Garvey, he's the perfect fit for this one. And this has to do pretty much with this, Jamaican politician, not just being a politician. He was a journalist. He was, what was it? He was also, entrepreneur, activist, just a breath of everything, and I'm excited because this is something I don't think we ever had a film specifically in regards to him that I've seen. Maybe a little bit of documentaries, but nothing, actually carved out. I could be wrong. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm actually excited for this one. Now, I will say this one, the film will be mostly inspired, by a biography by a gentleman named Colin Grant, and it's called Negro with a Hat, The Rise and Fall of Marcus Garvey. Now, the film is actually going to be titled, Marked Man. Now, let me read a little bit of the synopsis for you guys. It says, set in the 1920s, a marked man follows a young black man who joins J. Edgar Hoover's Federal Bureau of Investigation and then infiltrates Garvey's UNIA, an organization. It says, testing his loyalty to both race and country as he grows weary of both men's actions. Now, that right there is a lot, and I'm truly here for that. I'm really looking forward to seeing Winston in this film also because I've been following his work for a while. I think the first thing I saw him was Persons of Interest, and then, of course, when he came out playing M'Baku, Black Panther, hello. Then he did the film Us. Then he did, what was it, Spencer's Confidential with Mark Wahlberg. He has, the movie 9 Days, I think came out last year, if I'm not mistaken, or it could be this year. A lot of movies have gotten moved around, so excuse me if I'm getting it correctly, but he's been sustainably getting that work. And really, now that Black Panther came out, it's like now it's just steady. And now that this can be added to that, I'm happy for him. Now, the person who's going to be producing with this one is Mark Gordon. He's actually was on the show, or was it Ray Donovan? Attached to Ray Donovan, excuse me. So he's a part of it, Mark Gordon Productions. So excited about that. Two other people who are being added to the actual helm of the film is being considered as Jesse Williams. And if you already know him, he's, of course, from the fame of the show Grey's Anatomy. And also DeWanda Wise. I remember when she did the show, short-lived, for She's Gotta Have It. Two very, really, really good actors right there. Now, the director, I want to get his name correctly, is Andrew Dusamun. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. My apologies. That's a mouthful. I'm excited for him. I know he did a film back in the day, and it was titled, what was it? Was it Restless City? Came out in 2013. That was with Danae Gurry. Saying her last name incorrectly. My apologies. I'm looking forward to this because it's not like he has a lot of work he's done. I know he did another movie, I think if I'm not mistaken, with Michelle Pfeiffer called Where is Kyra? So he's kind of getting a little bit more behind the scenes, whichever, because I know he's known for definitely doing videos, things of photography. So a little bit more behind the scenes and behind the camera. And this one right here, I think is in good, capable hands. This looks like it's going to be phenomenal. And this will probably put Winston Duke in the category of being, some nominations coming on board, and I'm really here for this. I'm really looking forward to watching this film. I'm excited for him. Just so excited for him. This looks like it's going to be awesome, and definitely a story that needs to be told. So I will keep tabs on to make sure Jesse and DeWanda actually attached. I know they're in the process of, being considered for, sign up for the film. So it's not fully indefinite, but I'm hoping by then we'll know. And definitely DeWanda, because I haven't seen her anything as of late. So I'm happy to see she's doing a little bit more, work and more roles that I can actually enjoy her in. So with that said, moving on. Now, the last thing, I'm excited, really excited about this one because I can never say how much hype I am about anything this gentleman puts out. This has to do with a secret project from Jordan Peele. And just knowing that already is enough for me because I already know I'm going to go see it. The two people who are playing attached, I know one in particular is actually in the process of, signing on board, and that's Daniel Kaluuya. And then the next person who's going to be attached is Keke Palmer. She's already signed on. I am here for both. I'm a fan of Keke Palmer. I've been watching her for a long time. I loved her when she did Akeelah and the Bee. One of my favorite films she did was Joyful Noise with Queen Latifah. She's been in many TV shows and movies. She does TV like, what is it, Scream series. She did Berlin Station. She also has done a couple films I like. She did one that was called Pimp, and she did another movie, Hustlers. And of course, being a TV, morning TV host, whatever, and all that. The girl just has so many hats. I'm here for it. I'm a total fan of her. She's hilarious on Instagram. So I'm happy to know she's attached to this film, whatever, and I'll just get more and more as if she's not already known. But this will definitely put her on the map because a lot of people who probably already enjoyed the last couple of movies from Jordan Peele will enjoy her in this one, whatever. She'll definitely get some more, notoriety. But I'm looking forward to knowing more about the project. He's very secretive. I remember when we finally saw that he did the movie Get Out, of course, starring Daniel Kaluuya. I love that they'll be working again together. I went and saw that 4 times. I remember when I saw it, it was a Thursday night, late night, premiere for that. Then I went again Saturday and Sunday, and then I went with a friend who wanted to see it with me on a Tuesday. It was like the $5, ticket, whatever, and all that. He was all about his $5. So I was like, okay, cool. You want to see it? Yay. So that lets you know how much I really enjoyed Get Out. A lot of people were like, oh, by the first time and definitely second time, just to see if there's anything I missed, whatever, because it was a lot going on in that film. That thing literally mind blown. But then I really enjoyed it the last 2 times because I wanted to see the reactions of the people in the audience because I already knew what was coming up, and it made it even more exciting for me to watch it those 2 other times. So to know that he definitely is in the horror genre aspect, whatever he takes to that. I love that he's a producer on the next, Candyman installment, directed by Nia DaCosta. I'm looking forward, and of course, dealing with the Twilight Zone, TV series. He definitely comes from comedy because of Key and Peele, but I just like that I'm not used to seeing a lot of men of color who are being showcased dealing with in regards to the horror genre, and definitely mainstream where we get a lot more of that aspect, whatever. So movies over the years, whatever, in the last couple of, decades or whichever. So to see somebody who's like, really in that genre, whatever, and all, it's just so sweet. So when he did Us, it was good. So I'm wondering, this probably will be another, maybe some sort of, horror thriller, film. Again, I know she came on board. I know they said last year he was looking at a couple of individuals to be considered for this. So that means that she might have known, already back then. Of course, they have to keep tight lips. So just to know that it's now out, it's the beginning of the year. I feel like now that we know Daniel's getting ready to sign on, possibly to play it over or whatever, he already know. So maybe spring, summer, they're going to start, production. I really want to know more, but I will say this. We do have a date for when this will be released. He's noted the date is July 22nd, 2022. So that's all we really need right there to know. It's definitely a done deal with that aspect. So he had to lock that date in with the quickness. And by then, hopefully, we'll be able to go back to the theaters because I really want to watch this next installment in the theater. So please, people, get it together out here. I'm still wearing my mask, but still, I'm ready. I'm ready to get back in the theater. I miss being in the theater, peeps. I just really want to be in the theater so I get the full experience with other people so we can all just be clapping, laughing, scared, jump scared, whatever you want. We're just going to have a full movie buffet just of it. So I'm excited for this one. I'm looking forward to seeing who else might be cast, as supporting characters. But again, I want to know what the title is, and I want to know what the story is going to be about. He probably won't give us so much, but that's all good because a little bit of mystery, I love it. A lot of people, they don't like that. I'm here for it. So Jordan Peele, do your thing. Just get this baby cranking. So with that said, that is it, you guys. As I always say, comment below. Let me know what you think about anything I discussed. Let it be known in the comments so we can go back and forth, whatever. And with that said, I'll see you guys in the next movie news. You guys take care.